We begin with breaking news from Japan, where officials are now warning of new threats. It seems there is another risk of an explosion at the Fukushima power plant, but the government claims it can withstand the blast like the first reactor did on Saturday. Well, Japanese officials are also saying that the second reactor in Fukushima could be experiencing a partial meltdown. Meanwhile, radiation has increased 400-fold in the region of Miyagi, which lies dozens of kilometers further north. Well, it's not clear at the moment if the radiation came from the local nuclear plant or drifted up from the facility in Fukushima following Saturday's explosion. The government claims the radioactivity released so far does not pose a threat to human health. Well, having said that, the number of people admitted to hospital suffering exposure is said to be rising amid a series of aftershocks that continue to rock the country. RT's Ivor Bennett has the latest from Tokyo.
Actually, the city is still shaking. There have been a number of aftershocks just this morning even. The last one about 20 minutes ago. The whole room was shaking as I walk downstairs. The light fittings were shaking, and it's very hard to actually walk in a straight line. You're swaying. During the night, there were a couple of aftershocks so strong, in fact, that it woke me up, and I could actually hear the room creaking and things falling from the roof outside. So the city is still experiencing aftershocks, none that are actually inflicting damage on the city, and from what I've seen, there's very little surface damage here, but the transport infrastructure is definitely still suffering. I've been trying to arrange transport now to Sendai, to the epicenter where the earthquake hit 2 days ago, but all the trains, none of the trains going to the north of the country, they're not working, and they're still very unsure of what actual transport links they can run with all these aftershocks still happening. So even as far away as Tokyo, still suffering the after effects. Local authorities fear that the number of the people who have been affected by the radiation that has spilled out into the atmosphere could actually rise to 160 as they actually now analyse the exposure of the people who have been evacuated from the area around the Fukushima #1 power plant, where a number of reactors are still on high alert. Yesterday, one of the reactors exploded. Authorities are playing down the fears of nuclear meltdown. However, they're still on high alert at a number of other reactors at that Fukushima #1 plant and #2 plant now, because the pressure is still very, very high inside a number of the reactors, and they're having to let out steam and, obviously, in doing so, radiation too, which is building to the radiation in the atmosphere. And also the cooling system, actually, on one of the reactors at that second plant was knocked out again this morning, and with the other reactors whose cooling function is not working, they're actually pumping in seawater even around the reactor to try and cool it. They've evacuated 200,000 people, and they're handing out iodine to these people who are coming out of those affected areas, because that's what's used to treat radiation exposure.